the Committee on Indian Affairs, good afternoon, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to testify today regarding one of our nation's most underserved student population, American Indian and Alaska Native students. I also will talk today about S 2711, the Native American Education Opportunity Act, and how this act will provide additional education options in certain states for Native American students served today by funds from the Bureau of Indian Education. By the way of introduction, my name is Carlisle W. Begaye, State Senator for Legislative District 7 in the great state of Arizona. By the way of proper introduction in our native language, Yateshe Carlisle Begaye Nishet Kwatskon Hisle, Ki Ani E Bashichin, Adat Lezatlana Dashache Do Dashanella. Arizona has a rich Native American history and spans centuries, and today is home of 22 federally recognized Native American tribes. More specifically, Arizona has the second largest Native American student population in the United States. Before I talk about the Native American Education Opportunity Act, it is important to point out that for so many of us in this room, Indian education is very personal. In fact, when I was younger, I attended a BIE boarding school in Kayenta, Arizona on the Navajo Nation. At that time, attending boarding school was the norm for many Native American students like me. In fact, the first boarding school off reservation was Carlisle Indian School. I remember not understanding at the time why I had to attend the school or why I had to stay there. However, my parents, like many other tribal parents, believed that this school was the best option because it was a system that the federal government established for educating American Indians. My experience, and many like others like me, is a perfect example as to why America should not focus on the systems of education, but rather ensuring access to educational opportunities that parents want and children need. Today, the United States is working to replicate and replace failed assimilation policies, including education policies, by promoting tribal self-determination and self-governance. Empowering Native American families to make crucial education decisions for their children is the true essence of self-determination and self-empowerment. The importance of maintaining the United States trust responsibility and treaty obligations is more important than ever. But those obligations were penned more than 150 years ago. Nothing should stay the same for 150 years. We by no means dissolve that obligation. Instead, it's imperative that we build upon that obligation. The achievement gap in Native American students in Arizona and across the country is very real, and solutions are multidimensional and complex. They include a lack of empowerment options. After 150 years, we cannot solve all the needs and priorities of our entire school systems, including BIE. Overnight, we cannot create opportunities now, but now have the opportunity to create these options for Native American families through policies like the Native American Education Opportunity Act. We must give thanks to many tribal leaders that have come before us, much like the great Chief Manulito of the Navajo Nation, in the era during what we now term Huelda, or the Long Walk. They were marched, my people, from confined areas of the Navajo Nation to an area in New Mexico. At that time, I believe our tribal leaders didn't understand what education really meant. And today it is time for us to explore what is education today in our Native American communities. I recently spoke at a high school class within Arizona and in a tribal community. I will never forget the response of a student when I asked, "What are your goals and what are your ambitions in life? What are your plans after high school?" The student said, "Why does it matter and why do you care? No one cares about me or my people, so what does it matter what I want to do or what I end up doing?" As disheartening as it is, the student represents perhaps the feeling of many other Native American children living on reservations. This teen carries a burden of hopelessness, perhaps so common in modern-day reservation life. I encourage all of us here today to look at every option in our efforts to improve educational opportunities so that our kids now are prepared for jobs of today and jobs of tomorrow. Last year, we implemented a new program called the Empowerment Scholarship Account in Arizona. That program opened up options for Native American families in Arizona's 22 tribal communities. In 4 weeks, in a special enrollment period with no outreach or education, over almost 300 Native American families applied for this program. But denied in this program were children attending, or at that time, federally funded schools. Why should students attending federally funded schools not have the option to be empowered, not have the option to have better quality options available to them? Many would argue why these options are not available. I believe the Native American Education Opportunity Act is a step in the right direction. I thank Senator McCain for his leadership, for listening to many Native American families in Arizona to explore these options, and essentially not make it about the systems of education, but simply like the young kid in Arizona who said, "Why do you care?" Given him the option and the opportunity to explore what he thinks is in the best interest of his educational opportunities. With that, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I'm open for questions.